Okay, welcome to the next video, fills and strokes. So we're going to talk about welcome to the next video, fills and strokes. We are going to learn how to add color to our text. So I have put down my b-boy name on each canvas, which is part of the exercise. And I'm just going to want to change the color of one and the other. So a few different ways to zoom into this just to show is I can double click on the artboard in the artboard panel, and it's going to zoom me right in. So this right now is text using points, so it's not really vector yet, but we'll get into that. So I want to make it vector, which means I don't want it to be using the point system, which is technically not vector, it's print. And since it's vector, it'll be it offers me different options really. So all I have to do on my text is right click and hit create outlines. That right when I click that, you can see now the outside of the perimeter of my text has a light blue line. So this now is technically a vector graphic. So it was a bit smaller. It doesn't use the point system. It's going to be crisper. And I actually have more options in Illustrator for my text when it's vector. Okay, so right at the top, once my text is selected with the black arrow tool, the selection tool, quick key V, it brings up my properties for whatever I've selected. Remember, we talked about that. I click on my stage my artboard, and I get those options. If I click on my text, I get different options. So I'm just going to change the color. So I can just click the drop down arrow and it's going to bring out color. I have gradients and stuff I can play with that are all vector. Obviously, this selection doesn't offer a great color choice. So I don't know why. Illustrator defaults with the web safe colors. And if you want to add what is called a swatch, you just have to click the little icon on the bottom left corner of the drop down menu, and you have a whole bunch of different what are called swatches. So I would say different values that represent certain colors. So you can have swatch libraries that have been created to give us different Pantone colors, so to give us different finishes, to give us different sets of things, to give us different print materials, so like metallic. So if I want to print, so different swatches give us a lot of different options. So the most default one that we should be looking at is under color book, and it's the Pantone coded and uncoded. These are pretty much the standard colors for print within North America. Since we're going for the web, we don't really care so much. Nowadays, the web has millions of colors options, except if you have an old computer or you have different devices that have certain specific uses like a walkie-talkie. But this color palette is still great to select to design for web. I suggest using the Pantone's color palette. You can buy these inks in paint. If you go to Randall's, you can say I want this Pantone, and that ink is gonna be close to 100% this exact hue, with different paints, even, different people mixing the paint, different things. So using these color palettes is very important in Illustrator, and kind of fun, because you can have some color books, like some of the nature ones are fun. They just offer you nice greens that work together, and you want to keep these simple in a way when you're sending things to print, because you only want the printer to print the colors that are necessary sometimes. So we're again going for the web, so not as necessary. But you can also, once I select colors, they get added to this universal palette. I can change some settings in the palette here. Walt Disney might have a custom palette for a certain movie, or Ferrari has a custom red palette for their colors. So I can also, in this panel, where was I going with that? I can also, the second option allows me to add strokes to my text. So this is kind of cool for sure, because I'm now starting to design, I guess. One thing that I will add as a little quick trick here is, if I go view hide edges, it's going to remove the blue box, and now I can really get a solid visual of what is actually happening with my design. So this is obviously not great, because my stroke right now is appearing in front of my fill. So to reverse those roles, so there's a nice panel called the appearance panel. This panel allows me to further manipulate the appearance. I can do it up here, but this allows me more options, just like I can click and drag the fill and the strokes stacking order, just like the layers in a normal any other file, and it can give me that option, as well as just a little addition to this tutorial to keep things rolling nicely. So that, again, sorry, that was my appearance panel, window appearance panel, as well as under effect. This is just a little quick trick. I can add a drop shadow to my text. I'm just going to bring down some of the options within the drop down options, and generally a drop shadow above 35 is frowned upon by some, just saying. So as you can see, the drop shadow appears in my appearance panel, which means that I can further along select it and change the settings once again if I want.